Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so you friends see it. Thank you.
IT's over Trey Gowdy just told Comey the 4 words that will keep him up at night. Chairman of the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee Congressman Trey Gowdy just gave some very bad news to James Comey in an interview with the Washington Examiner. When asked if he was going to grill former FBI Director James Comey about his decision-making and timeline during his investigation of Hillary Clinton's email server, Gowdy said 4 words that will keep Comey awake at night. Have to, won't we? If James Comey is paying attention, he heard that loud and clear. The House is taking this investigation seriously, and he's not getting off easy. Gowdy told the Examiner that he is especially concerned that the decision to charge or not charge Clinton was made before all the witnesses were interviewed, but he also said Democrats should be on board with the committee's bipartisan agenda. Of the 6 things we listed with specificity, 3 of them are things Democrats gave a big damn about last fall. So, the question is, do they still? And 3 of them are things that Republicans cared about a lot last year, and the question is, do they still? There's a lot to complain about when it comes to Congress and even the GOP, but it's good to know there are some legislators who are actually on top of things, like Trey Gowdy. The investigation into James Comey was announced on Tuesday. Liberty writers will be following developments on the investigation and its findings closely, so stay tuned, and share this out, Patriots. HT Washington Examiner. Just in Dossier funders finally revealed and Democrats are panicking. Hillary Clinton and the Democratic National Committee just got caught helping fund the research for the explosive Trump dossier that came out last winter. The dossier, produced by Fusion GPS, made a series of outrageous claims, including that before becoming president, Donald Trump was caught on video bringing hookers into a hotel while on business in Moscow. The videos, it was alleged, would serve as blackmail and compromise his ability to perform his duties as president. Fusion GPS had so far flat out refused to name who their sponsors are, but a new report from Washington Post points right to none other than Hillary Clinton and the DNC. The Washington Post found that lawyer Markey Elias, who represented both the Clinton campaign and the DNC, hired Fusion GPS to conduct research on Donald Trump during the campaign, in April 2016. The funding continued until October 2016. Fusion GPS hired Christopher Steele, who would eventually write the dossier. Steele worked for British intelligence and also had connections to the U.S. intelligence community. Elias received Steele's reports from Fusion GPS. It is unknown how much the DNC and the Clinton campaign paid for the research, but the law firm that Elias works for, Perkins Coie, was paid $5.6 million in legal fees by the Clinton campaign from June 2015 to December 2016, and $3.6 million by the DNC since November 2015. The research was started by a still unknown Republican primary challenger, but was picked up by the Clinton campaign and the DNC in the spring of 2016. According to the Washington Post, neither the Clinton campaign nor the DNC directed Steele's research. Velp, there you have it, folks. Hillary and the DNC were directly implicated in this crazy phony dossier. I can't say that I'm surprised, but it's good to see it finally come to light. We got to get this out there though, so share it 50,000 times. HT Washington Post. Failed Hollywood actress accuses George H.W. Bush of committing sordid sex crimes from wheelchair. I think this has gone too far. No one doubts Harvey Weinstein is an absolute monster who should face justice in the courts, but this new claim is ridiculous. Heather Lind, who once had a starring role in AMC's historical series Turn, Washington's spies made some astounding allegations against former President George H.W. Bush. Today, she accused the former president, who is in a wheelchair, sexually assaulted her. From his wheelchair on her Instagram page today. I was disturbed today by a photo I saw of President Barack Obama shaking hands with George H.W. Bush in a gathering of ex-presidents organizing aid to states and territories damaged by recent hurricanes. I found it disturbing because, when I got the chance to meet George H.W. Bush 4 years ago to promote a historical television show I was working on, he sexually assaulted me while I was posing for a similar photo. He didn't shake my hand. He touched me from behind from his wheelchair with his wife Barbara Bush by his side. He told me a dirty joke. And then, all the while being photographed, touched me again, she wrote. Dear God. This is beyond the pale. First, it is probably a politically motivated attack, more on that later, or just a desperate plea to revive her failed career. That much is obvious. Why pick on an old man who is in a wheelchair? Only in liberal Hollywood is that could stoop so low. Look, even if he did tell her a dirty joke and patted her on the butt, and I am not saying he did, that is not sexual assault. In no way, shape or form is that anything other than an old man in a wheelchair having a little fun. It's not like the former president is up and around a lot, he is in a wheelchair. This is what the left does, they take something legitimate like Harvey Weinstein and now everyone and everything is guilty. Oh, yeah, and this was 4 years ago, the courage of this one, huh? Then she got political. What comforts me is that I too can use my power, which isn't so different from a president really. I can enact positive change. I can actually help people. I can be a symbol of my democracy. I can refuse to call him president, and call out other abuses of power when I see them. I can vote for a president, in part, by the nature of his or her character, knowing that his or her political decisions must necessarily stem from that character. My fellow castmates and producers helped me that day and continue to support me. I am grateful for the bravery of other women who have spoken up and written about their experiences. Has Hollywood lost their minds? Have they hit rock bottom? Let us know what you think below. HC Daily Mail. Uh-oh. Clinton lawyer just caught out in big fat lie that Democrats are going to hate. Well, this is awkward. The Washington Post just reported on Tuesday that the Hillary Clinton campaign and the DNC funded the salacious Trump dossier produced by Fusion GPS that came out last winter. But here's where it gets really interesting. Clinton campaign lawyer Mark Elias, who interfaced between the campaign team and Fusion GPS, had previously lied about his connection with the dossier. New York Times reporter Ken Vogel said that Elias had earlier vigorously denied involvement in the dossier. NIT reporter Maggie Haberman corroborated Vogel's claims, saying she too was lied to by the Democrats about Fusion. Psman, you know the Democrats have gone too far when even New York Times reporters are calling them out. The dossier, released late last year after a leak to BuzzFeed, alleged among other things that Donald Trump was videotaped bringing hookers back to a hotel in Moscow while on a business trip before becoming president. This compromising material supposedly would serve as blackmail that would prevent the president from doing his job. President Trump has always denied these allegations and no evidence has so far surfaced to corroborate them. Fusion GPS was fighting hard to keep the Clinton campaign and DNC's funds secret, but this new report blows it wide open. The Democrats have been exposed as liars. Now we have to find out what else they could be lying about. Liberty writers will be covering all of these developments closely, so stay tuned. HT Washington Post, Daily Caller. Mueller now investigating Democrats after he discovers shocking link they had to Kremlin. Robert Mueller's investigation into Russian campaign meddling took a surprising turn this week. Originally formed to attack the Trump campaign and link them to the Kremlin, The investigation may now hurt Democrats instead. According to NBC News, the Podesta Group, a pro-Democrat organization led by Tony Podesta, may have illegally lobbied for Russian interests through connections with Paul Manafort. Manafort had organized a public relations campaign for a nonprofit called the European Center for a Modern Ukraine, ECMU. Podesta's company was one of many firms that worked on the campaign, which promoted Ukraine's image in the West, NBC reports. The ECMU was supported by a pro-Russian political party called the Party of Regions. The sources said the investigation into Podesta and his company began as more of a fact-finding mission about the ECMU and Manafort's role in the campaign, but has now morphed into a criminal inquiry into whether the Podesta Group violated the Foreign Agents Registration Act, known as FARA. Wow! Manafort's connections to Russian interests have been widely reported, and were known at the time of his hiring. It was that connection that Democrats used as an initial argument for Russian collusion. Now that the Democrats have been connected to Manafort, using their logic, they colluded with the Russians, too. And they may have actually broken the law in the process. It'll be fun to see how they try and spin this one. Comment the Democrats colluded. And share to get this story noticed across the country. This news is big, and it shatters their narrative about Republican collusion with Russia.